This looks interesting.
Hard to get isn't a good look for you little meat.
Now, do you believe it?
Let's go.
Who is this new friend of yours, anyway? I made you. I kept you safe all this time. There's nothing I can't be.
Ignore him. Play out the day. Let him see that his control has weakened.
The king has these generators built, and then he lets them go to rack and ruin. Get it running again. Give me a taste of his power.
Bombastine was admired, even loved. But others were loved more. And that was poison to him.
I want what a man of my talent and worth rightly deserves. And that includes the Undercroft that Thrax guards so jealously. Ugh. Off you pop.
Creatures of the deep void are assaulting the Undercroft, tearing rents in its fabric. Seal them up again, or worse foes than Thrax may emerge. The ruptures can be closed, but only if you collect enough ambient void energy. Seize the globes that float nearby. Void Angels are unrelenting. You are all that is keeping them at bay. Hold fast. Fight on. Close the ruptures as you would staunch the wounds of a comrade. rupture is closed. The paradox stabilizes. Breach has been sealed. Excellent work. You can hold no more healing energy. Get to a rupture. If the Void Angels break through the wall, their master will be freed. Do not allow that to happen. Seal a rupture. You have gathered enough healing energy. Duviri's defenses are weakest here. You have done well to reinforce them.
Behind his acts of kindness and generosity lay but one thought. How can this performance benefit me?
Something's calling for you through the void mirror. Aren't you special? Get rid of those decks and see what's so urgent.
Like a child becoming bored with each new toy, Bombastine moved from one fixation to the next.
Ah, the Undercroft. A seething mass of void-ridden potential, spiced with childish nightmares. Give me some.
Many defensive battles within the Origin system were lost. Through the Paradox, you now have the chance to undo those defeats. No time to rest. Already a new onslaught begins. The enemy musters for a fresh assault. Hold the line. The winds blow fiercely. The rains do not relent. Still, the stout bow stands. This battle is already half won. Prepare yourself. A fresh wave approaches.
to see.
Enemies incoming. Stand fast. Like ashes, the enemy has been scattered to the void.
If Bombastine could only have loved himself, he might not have yearned to become someone else.
Ah, I know those Dax. They're the ones that like to use me as a target for their spitting contests. Even the score, would you? Oh, I've dreamed of this.
I have you in my sights. Is one fortunate shot, and your drifting days are over.
Bombastine thought his self-doubt was his alone. If only he had known how many others suffer too.
I've often wondered what power the otherworld spirits could offer a man like me. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Rebuild one of the lost shrines, and let's see what happens. see, she never sings again. It was me that gave her that voice. It's I who deserves the stage, not that ungrateful harpy! Me! Me! Me!
You wish you were this fast.
It wasn't me that started stirring up this mess with the executions. You got it in your head to get out. Don't you see now? These stories are for you. For us.
No, Terra? Nothing's worse than anger, right? It burns your lungs. It ashes the trees. But you can see it, right? And after it passes, maybe something new sprouts up. Resentment. Resentment is desolation. It salts the soil so that nothing ever grows again.
Didn't see it coming, did you? That I was just using you. You think there's some magic land outside of here? All there is war and suffering. Understand?
Think so?
Do you really? You keep calling this a prison, but you know what it really is. It's the only place in the entire universe that is actually safe.
Yeah, clearly.
You had it all. A whole world to yourself. But you were bored, ungrateful. You had to bite the hand that feeds.
Like Terra, huh?
Like what?
Once upon a time, there was a dying old man. As he lay on his bed, dying, he called to each of his beloved children. each did hear his rasping call. They answered with a hollow longing.
Teshin! Teshin!
So they came to his bedside, one by one, and his firstborn knelt there. And the old man said, my child, why be your eyes so dry? And the firstborn said, so that I might be strong, father. And so the old man gave to them the deeds for all his lands. To his second-born, he said again, my child, why be your eyes so dry? And his second child said, I shed no tears, father, for I chose now to remember only the joy you made of my life. And so unto him, the old man gave his family home. And when his last child had entered, he said again, my child, you were my favorite of all. Why show you no feelings at all? And the last child said to him, I feel nothing, for it was I who has killed you.
Where is he?
Don't you worry. Justice comes swiftly in my kingdom. finished! By my decree! So ready to fight. It makes me so happy. But why are you doing this? This much for me.
Attention! Attention!
Take care of Terra for me.
I will.
You're feeling now.
I am.
him, right now. Do you understand? He's dead and he's gone, and he's not coming back. I don't care how angry you get. You can't change anything. You can't even change yourself. Jealous of my worms? You think stealing them will bring him back? Are you stupid? It's too late.
You can have it.
You're thinking, is this real? Or some fevered dream? You did it. You took control.
I always had it. Thrax didn't make this place.
You did. But you reset it. You gave it all back to him. Why?
I guess it felt like a good trade. So, what's next?
Those beyond the wall have helped you. You will need to repay that debt. But you've earned your freedom. A way through the paradox and out of the spiral. Be warned. You'll not be as you are now, but as you were then. Do you see it? The other side.
I see it.
What will you do?
Sometimes you get stuck. Sometimes you go numb. Color drains away. You stop trying. And that just feeds the spiral going down. Maybe you'll get lucky one day. You see yourself in the mirror and snap out of it. But for some of us, it takes more. A friend, a stranger, a story, a helping hand.
And that's the end of Duviri. I left specifically because what the hell, man? Like, what the hell? Who wants to get stuck in a world where it feels like you're in the Twilight Zone every single day? At least in the origin system, everything is you know what you're getting. The evolution of the human species and everything that you see around here is based on what's going on right now. Duviri Paradox is that exactly what it is. A paradox, a freaky world. That stuff is very real, but it's also at the same time not real reality. And this dude actually created this Tenno that got trapped there from the Zarman, created all. I don't know how long he's been in there, but it came straight out of his mind. How? That's yet to be explained. How one dude could create all of this out of his mind and then trade places with. I'm assuming Trax was one of those things that he created in his mind while he was in there, but he got tired of being on the throne, so he needed something or someone to remove him from the throne, so he made one of those things. I'm assuming Trax is one of those things to replace him on the throne, and unfortunately that's what he shouldn't have done, because maybe Trax and all those other individuals in this world cannot take control of a world that you create. It has to be the original person. That's why he became a tyrant and treated everybody like crap and wanted to kill everyone and take control of everyone and wanted to go into the real world. That can't happen. But I wonder what would have happened if I stayed. Would the story continue to progress in the Duviri? Because you really can stay in Duviri. You don't have to leave. And just live your life in that world instead of live your life in this Warframe world. But I do know one thing. Whether you decide to live your life in the Duviri world and play Duviri Warframe or play Warframe, either way the quest is end, and you could always switch back and forth and go into different worlds. At least that's what the people who made the game says. You don't have to be stuck in Duviri all the time. If you want to stay there, you could always leave no matter where you are after the quest is over. So I just left because I know I could always go back. But I really would have wondered what would happen if I just stayed there. I'm interested to know what would have happened if I stayed there. So thoughts on the quest. The quest isn't a quest of an individual. New War was a quest of many people, not just one person. Many people are involved in New War. This is the quest of one individual trying to reclaim himself, a Tenno. So it's not as interesting as New War. and it's still not as interesting as the Second Dream. Here I'm thinking the quest would be better than New War and Second Dream. Turns out this is an individual quest, so it's not really better. It's just, I think it was not intended to be better. It was intended to be the beginning chapter of a new phase in Warframe, where new players can be introduced to a world that they could stay in, or this world that they've never explored before. So Duviri is simply an intro to the game. It feels like it was an intro to the game to new players. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like it was something meant for the OG players. It felt like it was designed specifically for new players to decide how to, because all the enemies weren't that difficult, to be honest with you. They were kind of easy. But it was intended for them not to be difficult, because you can't throw difficult stuff towards new players straight out the back. So I like that. And if you had first got your first beginning Warframe, regardless of which one you chose, you're not going to fight enemies that are level 100 or even level 50. You will fight them at the early stages, because that was the beginning phase of the new Warframe world, Duviri, which you could stay in. I chose not to stay in it, but I wonder how I could get back to that world. Now I'm thinking about it. How can I get back to that world if I want to go back? There has to be a way to go. Oh, there is. It's right there, right in front of me. So just like how you have Steel Path right here, if I want to do Steel Path missions and make every single planet turn into Steel Path with level 100 and stuff, and then turn it back to regular normal, and those missions aren't level 100, they're level 9 and level 11. It's the same here. And just like when I want to board my railjack and do Proxima missions, the solar map completely changed to only railjack location missions only. And when I want to do Duviri is always here for me to go home to, or to go into. The Duviri experience, the circuit, the lone story. So I could continue the story at any time if I want to, and there's more to nitpick with regards to the story. So even though the quest is over, the overall story is not over. But this video is not about the overall long game story, which this is the lone story. This is simply a video about the quest, part 1, part 2, and this is part 3. The Duviri experience is not better than Second Dream. It's not better than The War Within, and it's not better than what was the last one I said? I said something like, it's not better than the last big update, the New War. It's not better than New War, and it's not better than those things because those quests were specifically tied towards this origin system, where trees exist, where water exists, where vegetation of this nature exists, where things aren't stuck in like the land and the farmlands, and the people aren't like floating in space on a huge plateau rocks that goes on for miles and miles and miles on end. The land is stuck to the ground, and it's on a planet, circular planet, where Duviri is just floating rocks that goes on for miles and miles on end in a void type reality. So thankfully I could go back to there at any time I want and get better mods. Possibly Warframes are going to be showing up in that world that I could farm. But for right now, the quest is over. I spent an hour on it, and I'm just gonna do regular stuff now. I'm gonna keep quiet and do regular stuff. I just wanted to give my thoughts on the whole Duviri. What do I think about it? I think it's okay. I don't think it's great, but that's an OG player telling you that, not a new player of the game. Someone from back in the days is telling you that. if I remove myself from that person and pretend that this is my first time playing Warframe, I would think it's interesting. I wouldn't think it's the best, but I would think the story is interesting. I would think the Warframe is interesting. I would think tension is interesting. I would think how the experience is interesting. What will make it more fascinating if this was my first time experience at Warframe and Duviri was my first experience? After that quest is over, I guarantee this image that pop up here that says Duviri, if I chose Duviri, if I chose to say Duviri rather than leave Duviri, this image over here wouldn't be Duviri. It would be this world right here where Nyx is. It would be the origin system. So if I chose to stay in Duviri, and Duviri would be my original place where my ship would be, where my room would be, where my hangout would be, where my other accessories and everything I have here right now on my ship and my characters and my different warframes I'm building, if they were in Duviri, because I chose Duviri, if this was my first time at Warframe, this image wouldn't be here. It would be the origin system image would be here rather than Duviri. So if I was to say I was in Duviri and then I pop open the origin system, which will probably be in Duviri's place here, all of a sudden I'm going to be introduced to this world over here and new quests in this world over here, and the new quests in this world over here are going to be related to Vor's Prize, Man of Few Words, Vox Solaris, Saya's Vigil, Hall of Kubro. So even if I want to stay in Duviri, majority of the quests are on this side of the universe, because Duviri is the first experience of this game. So there are not going to be a lot of quests that came out in that world because it's the first introduction. So everyone who's a new player would have to come over to this side and play the Warframe experience. And it's like, oh shit, this is totally different from what I was feeling with Duviri and this operator. These stories are crazy. I'm fascinated when people, once they come over to this side from Duviri and they play Second Dream, they'll be like, damn, like I think I want to stay over here rather than Duviri. But then again, Duviri is pretty much brand new, so who knows where that is going to go. So for right now, I would say Duviri is half-half. It was half good and half bad from someone who's been playing for years. And maybe right now, at the beginning, if I wasn't an OG, I would think it fascinating. But who knows, maybe I would think it half-half. But yeah, I'll keep it quiet right now and play whatever for the next hour or so. I still got my dailies, and maybe I should check out what the other stuff in Duviri is. Okay, so that's what the Duviri experience is. The lone story, just the Spyro story, Duviri. Okay, all side Duviri devoid of all side objectives. Okay, so this is very interesting. So if I want to stay on the Teshin path or my operator path, I could just play his story and his story alone. The guy, the Warframe or the operator got trapped in Duviri, without playing any side quests, just the main story. So the main story is split up into, you could play just that story alone, or you could play that story and every other side quest, probably given by different people that live around the community, such like I was farming for sheep to bring them back into their little homes, and maybe there are going to be bounties, or maybe I have to hunt in dungeons and stuff in this side quest. But I like that because they're not forcing you to do both the main quest and the side quest together. They're allowing you to decide, well, you could do it completely by itself without void of any side quest missions, or you could do them both together. Or this one, Warframe only, where you don't want to deal with an operator whatsoever at all. You just want to play as a Warframe. Endless chains of missions. So endless is a mission here. So basically everything you see in the endless mission in the regular origin system, or all the different origin system endless, is offered in the circuit in Duviri. So if people want to experience that, it's the same thing as when you do endless missions in Warframe. So that's one mode. That's two mode, which is basically a combination of this and the second one, side quest as well. And then there's just the endless mission. So 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 different modes in Duviri at the moment. Not that great because it's just brand new, and it just came out in April. So for something just came out with April, I'm not going to fault it for that. So Duviri was okay. It was definitely better than Steinex's quest, that's for sure. It was better than Grendel's quest, that's also for sure. It was better than Gauss quest, and basically it was better than a lot of Warframe quests, except the main big ones, except New War, except Second Dream, except War Within, and except I would say Plains of Ilon. I believe it's better than, no, it's not better than Fortuna either. Everything, all the main quests that involves just more than just a Warframe felt better. Well, actually no, Duviri was better than Fortuna, because I kind of felt bored about Fortuna just doing endless bounties and stuff for these people all the time. So Duviri was better than Fortuna. Duviri was not better than Deimos though, because Deimos introduced us to all the different Entradi who created the warp in order to go into the void and allow for, you know, basically the higher ups within the Warframe universe, you know, Orokin, to become as powerful as they did. So yeah, right now I'm just going to play my dailies, and I'll get back to this on some other time, maybe on Monday. Tomorrow is the giveaway for my clan, so maybe I'll actually do it in the giveaway tomorrow, but right now I got to do my dailies. I didn't realize the Duviri was going to take this long. It took longer than I did. So let's see, how long does this one take? This one took about an hour. So the last one took about 2.5 hours, and the one before that also took about 2.5 hours. But I was farting around with the first one, so I got to deduct an hour from that one, and I did the same thing for the second one, so I have to deduct 30 minutes for the second one. So if I remove an hour and 30 minutes from the overall experience, I would say this is a 4-hour long quest. And if you were to speed run it, like anyone was to speed run this quest, you could probably clock it in at 3 hours. I cannot see this quest being less than 3 hours. There's no way. Because as much as I was messing around, I wasn't messing around that bad. But with the combine of 2 hours, the first one 2 hours, second one, this one, that's 5 hours. So if I was to subtract 2 hours from that 5 hours, this quest is easily a 3-hour quest. New War was 5 hours, this was 3 hours. So this was a long quest. Now if you speed run it, you will probably get it at 2.5 hours. If you ignore a lot of things, you get it at 2.5 hours. But anything that's beyond 2 hours is pretty long anyway. Most quests in most games don't even go beyond 1 hour, unless you're talking about Diablo or something like that. Most quests last for about 2 hours, the length of a movie. This was like the length of a movie, 2.5 hours to 3 hours long. So it was good. Okay, so just had to put that in text so everyone don't keep asking me the same thing over and over for the giveaway. I'm gonna do my Archons, and then if I have enough time, which I probably don't because I have to go to sleep around 11 o'clock because I gotta go to work at around 7 in the morning. Yeah, but once I get back, boom, 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 giveaway. And oh man, because of this stupid job, man, I won't say I'm behind on anything. I think I'm doing good because I had to go through all those different 30 or 40 mangas. And then I had to knock off all 40 of them to like 10 mangas, then have to knock off those 10 mangas to like 5 mangas. So I'm good because I took an entire week for just mangas. And I took an entire week for just grinding for the giveaway. And then the week before that was I don't remember what I was doing the week before that. But I was doing something. But the fact I'm able to finish this, I'm happy. Oh yeah, the week before that was Resident Evil 2 and Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, try to get everything. So the month of April was crazy, but I'm still going to try to finish Resident Evil 2 before the second week of May. So the first week of May, I'm going to try to finish Resident Evil 2. But D&D just gets in the way, man. I'm just trying to get the 55k, and it's long as hell. Tomorrow, guy. Tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Okay, so actually, you know what? Do I have enough time to do at least 1 hour of D&D? Yeah, I have enough time to just do 1 hour of D&D. I think I'm almost. I think I capped out my weekly. Is it even worth it? No, it's not worth it. Oh, maybe it is. Oh shit. Damn. Yeah, screw it. I'll do an hour D&D. Today was only intended to finish the quest, and I finished the quest. So, D&D time. Probably won't have enough time, but I'm just going to do 1 hour D&D. I'm not even going to mess with Horizon Forbidden West, Frozen Shores, or Stolen Shores. I don't remember what it's called. Or Dead Island 2. I got both of those games, but I'm not going to touch them, even though I have them within my library. I'm not touching either of those games until I'm finished with Resident Evil 2 first. So, and until I reach 55k in D&D, because that's the highest you could get in D&D. So, I'm done for right now. Sounds what? Good for what? This is what happens when people are new to the clan. Our giveaway is something. I have to explain things. Even though it's in our news section, some people just don't want to read, or maybe it's not completely detailed in there. Our giveaways is something we do once a month. It's typically the last day of a month. Alright, so that's that for Warframe. I really wanted to stay on longer, but yeah, it's D&D time. I thought the quest was going to be 2 hours long, and that would give me enough time, but the quest is over, so I'll do a quick D&D.